Welcome to another episode of The Giant Leap. Today we have a guest who's not just a leader in the world of kids' health and well-being, but someone who's deeply committed to shaping the future through movement, mentorship, and mindset. His passion for adventure, his ability to connect with children and adults, and his unique perspective on success make him an incredible person to sit down with today. We're going to dive deep into his journey and uncover philosophies that drive him and, of course, see if we can get him to answer some questions he's never been asked before.
Cam Best, welcome back to the show.
Hello. Thank you, Cacey. Thank you, Joshy. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Thank you. That was lovely. I can't wait to meet this person.
We're super
He sounds
excited.
awesome.
So, Cam, let's start off by finding out what's been happening in your world lately and what's something that's got you fired up right now.
What's been happening in my world lately? Like, as in the last 12 months?
Yeah.
Last 12 months has been an amazing journey with our business, Juiced Up Groms, working with kids. Amazing journey with my own family as they doing their sports, and my daughter just went to high school. My son's getting older. My younger son getting towards the end of his primary school ages. So I guess the last 12 months it's just been family and Juiced Up Groms, which is a business and a passion of mine. Juiced Up Groms being the little intro you spoke about there. You know, working with and mentoring kids, supporting kids, providing this amazing community and space to really just help kids thrive and just become confident and amazing within themselves.
What's one thing that you're most fired up with right now?
What I'm most fired up about right now is just having new families come into our space because they hear we're getting lots of referrals, lots of word of mouth about the business. So people sort of come to me as the front of the business and they have this little sales call or on board sort of screening call with me, and they hear about the program. It's just like, oh, this sounds so awesome. We've been looking for things like this. My little Johnny, I'm just so excited. But what fires me up is that they come into this space and they just love it. The kids love it. The parents love it. They're just like, where's this been my whole life? And they just go, they just become part of the Juiced Up Groms family instantly. And that family just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger, which, oh man, that is what fires me up. That's what's super exciting for me.
Is it scary as it grows?
What's that?
Is it scary as it grows?
Is it scary? It's not It's not scary. It just if anything, it just becomes a little bit overwhelming because just want to serve these people as much as possible, make sure everyone gets the full effect, the full Juiced Up Groms effect. So I put a lot of pressure on myself and us as a team to really pour in and nurture and support these people. So at times it's a little bit overwhelming and exciting. I've never felt scared about it because it's something I just believe in. I'm so passionate about, but definitely get overwhelmed by it. But that's a good thing, isn't it? Because they always say, you just got to always feel like you're sort of not in control. If you feel like you're in control, then maybe you've taken the pedal off, you put off the pedal too much. But I think that
How do you deal with that overwhelm?
Oh, how do I deal with the overwhelm? I think just look after yourself first and foremost. Like we speak of getting outside, moving your body, eating whole foods. So, if you're looking after yourself and you feel like you're feeling strong, you're feeling fit, you're feeling capable, you're feeling strong in the mind, all that sort of thing, then you can handle all these things. It helps you build resilience and you can take all these things on and just, with all this energy and with this life and just, tackle it head on. So I think that's how we handle it. Well, that's how I personally handle it anyway.
You've spent years coaching and mentoring kids, but if you rewind back, what was little Cam Best like? Were you always this adventurous and into sport, or was there a moment that shaped that for you?
As a kid, I loved my childhood. I had the most amazing parents. I lived on a property, and sport was my life. I mean, because this was, 30 years ago, which was before screen and social media and all that sort of thing. So by default, we all spent so much more time outside. But I always had a passion for sport, and I just always remember being outside and moving my body as a kid. Then I guess as I hit my teenage years, I do remember this moment where I really started to sort of become very self-conscious and started to, I guess, lack confidence and belief in myself. And I remember within sport pulling back and thinking that I wasn't good enough within sport. And it had a lot to do with body image. Like back then, I was a very slim, very small built boy. And I remember that was something that really played on my mind because I played very physical sports. Like out in the country, we played rugby union and rugby league, which in Australia, that it's tackle football.
Yeah.
And I just remember feeling inferior to other kids as I hit my teenage years and lacking, confidence at time and really, pulling back. Till eventually, then as I became like a young adult, went to uni and things like that, I found the confidence again. And that was because I'm not sure what it exactly was. It was getting into the gym. I know that. It was just getting right back into my sports and I think that's when the health journey really started for me as well. Started like really learning about how to feed and nourish the body and grow the body or do whatever, develop the body in whichever way you want to, like just realizing that I'm in control. I have the power to be able to do that. And that's when confidence and resilience and all that sort of thing came back as well.
What motivated you to actually start going to the gym? Was there something there that made you go, right, okay, I'm going to go to the gym and grow my body and get more confident?
My pure motivation was just a desire not to be slim, not to be skinny. As a male that was very sporty and really looked up to athletes and sport. Like my only motivation was to put on muscle, was to put on size, to be bigger, to put on weight. That was my whole motivation. That's changed as the years gone on. But
well, now because you've got muscle, now you're a beast, so now you don't have to think about that.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Put in the work, isn't it?
So it worked. It worked.
Yeah, you know what? When I was I started doing gym when I was about 15, 16, but I didn't really I was just doing it sort of half-heartedly through school. And then I went to university at the age of 18. And, I was this height now, so I was 6'1", so pretty tall, 185 centimeters. But I was 60 kilos, a bit over 60 kilos. So that's, that's light.
Yeah.
And within 12 months, by the time I hit 19, so in one full year of uni, because I went full-time training, I went full-time nutrition, and I put on 35 kilos in 1 year.
That's insane.
Went from 60-something to 90-something kilos. And it was just like a dream come true for me because at the time, that's all that mattered to me was putting on weight. I know it's the opposite to sort of what a lot of people want to do. They're looking to lose weight. But for me, I had this opposite to anorexia. I just wanted to put on weight. And I'd meet up with school friends and teachers and things like after a year or two of being at uni, and like they almost walked past me. Like didn't recognize me because I looked very different. I put on 30 kilos in 12 months. But that was through the power of, I don't know, desire and just wanting to make a change. To me, it's like I often think back to that and I use it as a story to the kids as well, going, ultimately, you're in control and you can change or develop or do whatever you want. You just got to put in the time and effort. It didn't happen overnight, but it was a lot of hard work. But like we talk about this term in Juiced Up Groms, practice makes better. As in, if you want something, if you desire something, just to be more skillful or better this, better that, you just got to put one foot in front of the other and just keep, start moving towards it. Practice makes better. Just keep on having another go. It doesn't matter where you're at. Just keep on progressing forward. Every day, every little day counts. So I think that was the first time I really understood practice makes better for me.
Yeah. I think the great thing is you've literally like walked a path. Like you've been that awkward skinny kid and you've had that mindset like of being that awkward skinny kid and not feeling like, you know, good enough and that you can really be great at sport and stuff, and then you've come out the other side so you can literally like teach people that because you've done it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the mindset behind it is like it's what's even more sort of now that I know now, not so much back then, but like it's like you look back and go, yeah, it's like it's a powerful thing, but it's the mindset or what was created, you know, from being able to do that, and then how you can take that and utilize it in all different aspects and areas of life.
Yeah, and you being a mentor, you can kind of like fast track it for the kids so they don't have to spend that long to get to where you're at.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, forward it on to the next generation so they can become more powerful as a result.
This is something we come up with a lot in the podcast. I think that people have this drive early on to be focused on a goal. So, you know, you wanted to change and you wanted to go to the gym and get bigger. Do you think that the motivation to stick to a goal and be so goal orientated and focused is something you're born with, or do you think that that is something that you learned from somewhere?
I definitely don't think you're born with it. Like it comes about from like who you're hanging out with and who you're being raised by. So your family's certainly going to have a big impact. But you know, being goal orientated or having a desire to focus or change something, no, definitely don't think you're born with something like that. It's something that I don't know is born out of the fact that you actually want to make a change in your life and achieve something within your life. And yeah, and then definitely the people that are around you that are going to severely influence you around that as well. Like mainly your family when you're younger, and then the people you hang out with, your friends, and your inner circle as you get older in those teenage years and adult years.
Yeah, everyone sees the fun, high energy side of Juiced Up Groms. But what's something about building this that people don't see? The part that keeps you up at night?
Yeah, I think about Juiced Up Groms all the time. I often have restless nights, and that's okay because it's something I'm just so passionate about and just want to make a change. But like people, I guess behind the scenes, the only person that really understands what goes into Juiced Up Groms is my wife because she sees me in this space where I am right now, building systems and building a place to be able to take these people on and create a process for them. So half of my life or less of my, sorry, not life, half of my business time or even less of my business time is out there coaching and mentoring and actually being with the kids. But we've got this amazing team, and we've had Chris on here before, who's the head of coaching that does and has taken over that coaching now, which you know is phenomenal for us. And we can talk more about teams and everything like that if you want to guys want to later on. But for me, the behind the scenes, the hustle, the grind of just of marketing and just bringing people into this space and just sharing the light or sharing the information about what we do with them and inspiring them to then join the program is massive. And like the last few years, yeah, so much time and effort has gone into that. Like, but for a second, I don't think of it as work or a grind or anything like that. Just because it is, you know, it's a pleasure to do, and it's a privilege to do, and it's also something I feel very drawn or you know like it's people talk about callings and things like that. It's just something I love to do. So yeah, the behind the scenes of bringing people in is massive.
So do you ever feel like you have to get out there and like get back to doing the stuff with the Groms, or do you just like get enough in? Because I can imagine like when you're out there, like, you know, with the Groms and stuff, you just get that energy and you kind of bring it back with you. But then you've got the other side of it. You're talking to the parents and you're getting them all juiced up and stuff. And then that would kind of give you that energy burst as well. But do you ever feel like that you want to go back out there into the field and like you know, interact with the Groms and that kind of thing? Or are you totally happy just, you know, being at home working on the business?
like I'm happy now being here because I get to speak to and engage with the parents and the family, and I really do love that part. And again, it comes back to just like having an amazing team out there running the program and doing the program. I have so much confidence and belief, and it's just cool to see this team evolve. We just keep attracting these amazing, and most of them males. There are some females, but we're a very male sort of male mentor dominant sort of area. But there's some great ladies in our business too now. But they have really taken the reins and doing amazing things. So I feel really confident and happy to have them out there. And even this term, I could have went out there and did a lot more, but we had all these amazing coaches that want to do more coaching and spend more hours with the kids. So I handed that all off to them. But in saying that, I still love being out there and, in being involved in the actual face of the program, which is running the sessions. Like we're 2 weeks into a new season now because we run term by term or quarter by quarter. And I've been just about to every session so far, not because I have to, but because I want to. But yeah, to answer your question, I'm very content and happy dealing with the parents, even though it's in an office, talking a lot of computer and phones. I'm always on the phone or emailing and texting. It's just like this constantly connections and networking and like all day, every day, the phone doesn't stop, which is super cool. But I love that because it I could never imagine working a solo job, not being able to talk and engage with people, because I'm a very social sort of person. I love interacting, engaging and networking. So, that's all I do now is engage, socialize and network with families.
That's nice. That's nice. And it's nice that you haven't taken your, when you have to take a step back from that facilitation part when you run a business, it can be really hard. But you being able to grow the business is just as exciting. So that's lovely. That's really lovely to see that you're enjoying that part of it.
With more and more technology, becoming part of our lives, have you ever thought of taking Juiced Up Groms like online and doing a digital type thing?
Yeah, for sure. Like we're just hitting that space now. So it's just like, since 2019. So what's that, about 6 years? We've been very, very service-based, face-to-face based, and we've got like in our area on the Sunshine Coast, we've become, quite recognizable and quite renowned, and people will, if not us personally, will recognize, the name Juiced Up Groms or certainly the logo, and become a very, a known entity within the kids sports and motivation and confidence space. And we as a business and we as coaches have learned some amazing things on how to really support and impact kids. And like, so I'm just like, man, like you can't just have this on the Sunshine Coast. We need to take it to the masses, take it to the whole of Australia, or even the whole of the world. So we're literally just in that sort of headspace at the moment. Like me and Chris, the other half of Juiced Up Groms, had a meeting today about it, where we're really starting to think about what that might look like and how can we start to entertain the idea of getting it out there in a more digital format, so therefore we can support and interact with people, wherever we want all around the world, and just bring those philosophies and those ideas and those systems and the games and everything to the masses. Yeah.
Can you give us a little glimpse of how it would look like?
To tell you the truth, Josh, like we don't even know yet. Like it's something that's pretty new. Like we were talking about it today. It's like, what does it actually look like? Are we going to be like, so there's sort of two versions. Are we going to be a coach's coach? As we're going to take this process, this system, and teach other people how to become coaches and create their own business to become like a coach mentor so they can impact a heap of people? Or are we going to take it and go direct to the families and create like digital online support networks for the families? So that's sort of like two areas that we're looking at. And then we're like, what does that actually look like? Well, we've got to work that out. And the way to work that out is we've just got to get out there and get our hands dirty and through social media and through your help as well, because working as this amazing person within our social media, we're going to start connecting with the families online and working that out. And like 6 years ago, when we first developed Juiced Up Groms, I remember me and Chris sitting down there, my wife, going, because I was full time as a miner, working as a, on the trucks and things like that. And it was super scary to think because we wanted to do Juiced Up Groms, but we had no idea of how to do that. And it's just like, surely but slowly, we worked it out. We just took put one foot in front of the other. Practice makes better, whole ideology, and we worked it out, and just one door would lead to the next, lead to the next, lead to the next. And we just all of a sudden, here we are with a business that's thriving and getting bigger and bigger every quarter. So it's the same thing. That same mindset is now to the digital, the online world. It's just like, we know that we can impact and make a massive difference and support families and families with children, young adolescents. We've got that desire, that passion, we've got the results. So now we're just going to work out, like, what does that look like when it's in an online space? Because when it's in an online space.
Me and Cacey have been chatting about it, and we were thinking about it as well. It resonated with Cacey about doing the parent, like educating the parents type thing, because she was worried about the irony of like getting kids off screens and then them putting them on screens, which I'm sure you're very aware of.
Yeah.
But the coaching one seems really good for
other coaches.
Yeah,
to be a coach's coach. That sounds great. And but also coaching parents to then take their children. Yeah, I quite like that. Like I would definitely do a program like that. If I had a child that was nervous and like all of the things that you help with, I would sit down and do a course with Josh and do a program, and then be able to have those abilities to go and take my child out and give them that confidence, so that we're the ones on the screen rather than the child, but
and we were thinking it would still have to be like fun and full of energy, so you could kind of transport that over to your kid.
Yeah 100%. That's a great idea. Like, and I sort of had those thoughts as well. It's just like, it's for the kids, but ultimately everything comes through the parents, doesn't it? Like you said, it's just like it's all filtered down. So if the parents, you provide them support and the ideas and the frameworks to then teach and pass that on to their children, then happy days.
And what have your thoughts been about the irony of, like, if you created something for kids on a screen and you're literally trying to get them off the screen?
I know, it's just like, I'm like, I'm like rack my brain and going, it can't, like, that's it. We just get, wouldn't we, if we were like, we're going to get kids off screen, now here, take this screen and learn off the screens. So, like, as you can see, I'm mixing my words here. I'm like, you're right. Like, that's something we got to really think about and work around. And
there's loads of like wildlife charities that do it all the time. So when I worked, I was a children's education officer for a wildlife charity, and there's ones like, I'm going to say them, like the Woodland Trust, who have nature programs, get back out into nature. But the irony of it is you have to go on the computer to get their programs to then go and take them out into nature. So, but that is a way. There are people that do it, so the wildlife charities are maybe, a place to have a look at their programs. It's not the same thing, but they get people out into nature by going online to do the program.
And if the kid's on the screen in the first place anyway, it's best that they're watching that and then motivated to get
outside. It is quite interesting. It's such a I don't know what the word is, conundrum. Conundrum, where it's like, well, how do you tackle this? Like, what do you do? But it needs to be done, because your work and what you do is so amazing. You need to reach the whole of Australia.
You need that audience, that online audience, to be part of it.
So it is something. I'm so excited to watch that grow. I really am, over the next sort of year. If you've done this in 6 years, like, the next part is just going to be incredible. So I'm really excited to see that grow.
Hey, you and Chris built this from the ground up, built Juiced Up Groms from the ground up. What was the wildest or most unexpected moment that you've had so far in your journey?
What was the wildest, most unexpected part? So, I mean, to start, just the fact that we got here, like, for, I guess, because it has been 6 years, but for 4 years, so the last 2 years has been massive growth, and we've been full time, and every quarter it's grown. But before that, the first 4 years, like, it didn't look like that. No way in the world. And then there was so much just hustle and just doing free stuff. Like, we traveled. I had a friend actually call me up, and she wants to start a school show, because we used to do school shows. We used to deliver shows to hundreds of kids, multiple hundred kids. And she called me up and said, "Oh, I want to do what you guys used to do and do school shows and things like that." And I said, "Yeah, go for it. But let me tell you, like, we put in some massive hustle. There was years there where we were doing like our movement programs and our school shows for free, because all we wanted is exposure and people to be aware of us. And then when we come back, they're like, 'Oh yeah, you guys came and gave us all that. You really served us for nothing. We'll have you back.'" So for 4 years, like, it was a massive, like, we did Ks, we did shows, we did workshops. Me and Chris just did anything and everything to just get our brand and our energy out there. Like, it's like, I sort of forget now what it was like back then, but like, when I think back, there was just so much grind happening there. And then all of a sudden, it all started to catch back up with us. So it became quite surreal quite quickly. It's just like, in no time, what felt like was no time, we're full time in the business. We've left our jobs, and we're just like living our passion, and then also, and I was also working for my wife's father. So my father-in-law, the kid's granddad, he's a amazing builder, tradesman. And, I was working for him and sort of doing 3 quarters a day with him, and then taking the afternoon to go do Juiced Up Groms program. It's just sort of, be a trader or be a builder during the day, and then do Juiced Up Groms programs in the afternoon. And then I just remember that it got to a period where also it's like, actually, I can just do Juiced Up Groms now. Like, it's sort of got to that point. And that was a real sort of surreal moment for me, for sure, because it's just like, yeah, just sitting back, just wondering if this will ever come to fruition. Like, will it happen? I got this idea, got this concept. We had this idea and concept. And like, and like always, you doubt yourself at first as well, don't you? Like, anyone that's sort of set out on any sort of mission to do anything, whether it's sport, business, relationships, whatever, it's like there's always that self-doubt. Oh, why would people listen to you? And why, what makes us different, and that sort of thing. You just got to sort of learn to quieten those voices and have a go anyway. And then, yeah, and eventually it just all started to happen. And then all, quarter after quarter, the business continues to grow. It's just like, we can take it anywhere we want now. And there's all these sort of different opportunities popping up. And now it's a matter of not, can we get the work? It's actually say no to a lot of things, because there's certain things we just want to focus on and really give it our attention to do it properly. So it's very much a different, back, those years ago, it was yes, anything, everything, anything, come to me. And now we actually spend a lot of time saying no. Not that we'd love to serve everyone, but you can't, because you got to give your intensity and all your effort to certain areas.
Yeah.
So now we're in this great place where we serve what's going to make, and do what's going to make the greatest impact for us, our team, and the clients.
It's funny how along your journey, how you don't really realize, like, you think, oh, we kind of got nowhere, until you see those like moments like flash up on Facebook and stuff, and you're like, Jesus Christ, how far have we come in 3 years? Like, we were doing that back then? No way. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's right. It is. It's a trip out, and you forget where you come from very, very quickly.
It's an incredible feeling as well when you finally can just look at your normal, I'm going to go like this in quotation marks, job, and go, oh, I don't need you anymore. That's quite an incredible feeling.
Isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. it's an amazing feeling. Like, because I've heard other people do it, and I've heard stories of, oh, I left my job to go follow my dreams, and it's just, actually, I did too.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah.
We did too.
Yeah.
And everyone
Yeah.
listening can do it as well.
Yeah.
You know, you just
Anybody can
yeah,
if they want
everyone
to.
can if they want to.
So you've worked with kids from all different kinds of backgrounds. What's the most inspiring transformation you've seen, and a moment where you've thought, this is why we do what we do?
Just like the kids that have never really felt like they've been a part of something, or never really had the confidence to get out there and do sports, or not just sports, engage with other kids and engage with other groups. That's what really lights me up. And we see this happen all the time. Like, we had a boy come in recently, and he was like crying with tears of joy because he's like, and he was able to verbalize that he's never felt like he's belonged anywhere before. So just for him to come into this supportive community that where he just felt like he could be himself and just really, yeah, start to engage and do things. So like when kids show and develop confidence, that's what makes me most happy. It's because I always say to people, like, this program looks like a sporting program, and it is. Like, we play sport, we play games, and maybe 6 years ago it was very much about the sport and about the skill and developing skills, but that's very much an underlying part of what really this program is about, and that's just, teaching kids to believe in themselves, to build confidence, to build social connection, to build networks, to build community, to belong, to feel like they're supported, all those sort of things, building, a strong mind, confident mind. So, and that happens through the program, through the game, through the sports. So kids come from all sorts of different backgrounds, and some come in very confident, which is great. But there's a lot of them that really lack confidence. So that is what sort of fires me up, or that's what inspires me the most.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny seeing comments like, but this isn't for everybody, because what if my kid's not good at sport? And it's like, it's literally for, like, mostly kids that aren't that good at getting out there and getting into things. Like, it'll be perfect for your kid.
Yeah,
let's get
100%.
them out. Let's get them moving.
And so many kids come into this as well that, like, because as we know, we've talked a lot about screens here, and like the screen or the digital world is having, I believe, a massive impact on all of us, and especially kids. I think about kids who, sit and like look at a screen and are not moving their body a lot more versus what we did as kids. And it just seems like it's on this trajectory of getting worse. So we have a lot of kids that come to us that don't have a desire to physically move their body. They don't have a desire yet. But then they come into the program and all of a sudden they fall in love with not necessarily sports, but just being outside, moving their body, feeling themselves getting sweaty and, mucking around with other kids and other boys and other girls and things like that. Like just last week, there's this boy, there was twins, and one of them is very sporty. So he just came straight in the program, was super keen. The other twin was just always on the screen, and his guardian, his grandmother, says he won't do this program. He doesn't, like, she was quite disgruntled about him. She's like, oh, I'm sick of him. We've got him a hoverboard and he's just doing nothing. He won't do anything. So yeah, no worries. We'll chat to him when he comes. And he came to the program, and he did. He had his head in the screen when he started, and I just had a chat to him. He's like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to stay here for now. I said, no worries, mate. And I thought, well, wait and see. And like, let the games, let the play, let the atmosphere do the talking. Within 5 minutes, he came over. He started doing the games. He joined in, and he had the time of his life. It's a 90-minute session. And by the end of it, he was sweating. He was puffing. He was like high-fiving. He went over his grandma and said, this is the best thing ever. And she was like, she just about hit the deck. She's like, I can't believe this. I've never seen this before. So, just seeing kids that don't, like, even ones they've sort of not given up on, but they just think he has no desire to be physical or to do anything active. It's like, yes, he does. We all have that inside of us. We all want to be physical and move our body. That's where we come from. Like I think about, us, our ancestors, and how we just used to always move around across the earth. And we're made to move and engage. We all feel our happiest when we're outside walking and interacting and moving. So we all have that innate desire within us. And it comes to life when these kids, even the ones that are the most deepest into the screens, it comes to life when they come to these sessions, because it's there to engage them, to light those senses up. Oh yeah, I can do this.
It's such an incredible story. I love that story about the twins. That's so good. Chris shared some amazing stories as well, and every single one I'm just like, oh my God, it would give me such a buzz to be doing what you're doing. Like it's amazing. But we're going to flip it now. What has been the toughest moment for you? The one thing that's really tested you?
In Juiced Up Groms?
Yeah.
The toughest moments in Juiced Up Groms. I mean, like at first it was just, getting the business off the ground. That was the toughest thing, and just finding the belief and that we can actually do this, and getting it to happen. But then more recently, like since it's happened, the toughest thing would be, I guess, trying to balance business and lifestyle. Like the good thing, like I think my business and my lifestyle, my family are very much sort of, they're very closely related. So I'm very fortunate. I love that part of it, but very wary that I'm in a business that's supporting and, lifting and encouraging and children. But, there's 3 children in my life that are the absolute, number one and priority, as in my 3 kids and my wife. So, and as you are aware, and any business owner is aware, like, business can really take over. Like, it can really occupy a lot of your space, even if you're not in the office doing something. I'm very wary that it's also occupying my mind when I'm out socializing or playing with the kids or doing things out there. So I think about that a lot, and just going really making sure I balance, life, and make sure I'm on top of my game, and I'm continuing to be the best, fittest, strongest, most uplifting father and husband. And, my absolute priority is my kids, and making sure they realize and feel that as well.
It's funny because I've been thinking about this for you. Like I've been thinking, the funny thing is like I was imagining like a dentist, how like they have bad teeth, and if you were out playing with kids all day and then you get home and the kids come to play, oh, I've been doing this all day, just leave me alone, please.
I'll never say no to my kids to play. Like all they ever want to do is play. But like I totally get what you mean. That like I'll be in here. Like it happened yesterday, I think it was. Like most afternoons we'll go play cricket. We've got an amazing neighborhood here, and there's one neighbor in particular, like the dad and the kids and me, the dad and the kids, we always have a game of cricket or soccer or something like that. And it's like I was here yesterday afternoon and I had like a list more long. There's things like I've got to get done today and I want to get this done. I was sort of feeling the pressure and trying to get it done. And then my 13-year-old son comes and goes, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to go down and play cricket. Can you come down and play?" And like in my mind, I'm like, I've got a list a mile long. I just feel so much better if I could just tick off a few things here. That's what I sort of, in my mind, I'm thinking. I'm like, what? That's a poor example. And like, in the scheme of things, who cares if some things don't get done? What matters most is my kids. So I'm very conscious and very aware if they ever come in here and say, "Can we go do something?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go do it." Like,
yeah.
I'll just turn the computer off and walk away. So yeah, they're absolutely the priority, and really make sure that they always are.
It's so cool being in a position like we all are, how like if there is like a thing that your kid wants to do, or like a school event or something, like we're the only parents that both of us turn up like to everything just because we can. We choose our own time, and I think like how cool is that? Like that's the greatest thing with all the stresses and things that you have to go through running your own business. Like you can't just turn up and then get home and leave it all there. Like you're literally the business is part of you, and but the payoff is that you get to have that choice. You can literally do what you want with your day.
100%. Like that's the most special gift, to be able to do things like that. And the kids, my kids, your child will remember that, because that's a very special thing. And unfortunately, it's probably getting rarer and rarer, isn't it? Because,
Yeah.
you know, just with the way the society is and cost of living and things, it's like, you know, it's tough. I understand for families sometimes, you know, they both got to be out there working. And like the kids see other kids and friends go to what we call OSH here, like before school care, after school care, vacation care during the holidays. And we're obviously a part of the school systems. And I remember when I was out there doing the coaching, like we'd see kids before school, after school, during school holidays at school care. And I'm just, oh man, that's like I've so felt for them. And, you know, and my kids see other kids always at school care and stuff like that. So I mean, they do realize what a gift it is and how special it is to have, you know, both parents home for breakfast, both parents home for dinner, you know, weekends, holidays, coming to it, like you said, coming to their school events, sports. You know, it's rare for both parents to be there.
Yeah.
So it's a very special thing.
It's really nice to be able to do it. And it's something for me on my journey through our business. I think if you'd asked me this 6 years ago, I definitely couldn't have been there. I was way too busy in my mind, and I didn't know how to deal with time and all of that stuff. But as you become a business owner and you grow your business and you understand a lot more about what success is and how to be successful in your business, you can carve that time out better, I think.
Yeah.
You're always giving energy to others. So what do you do to refuel yourself?
Oh, I love that. There's so many cool things. First and foremost, I think of sunshine and earth, mother and father. Like every morning, the first thing I do when I get up, I don't turn on the screen. Like I don't look at the screen. I don't do anything. I have a big drink of water with salt in it. So salted water. I'm always drinking salted water because it's so hot here too. I'm always sweating.
Yeah.
So
So
just
do I.
salted water.
Got salted water right here.
Salted? Good
Not that
man.
you
Well
need
done.
it in this country. It's not sweating. Zero
I go
degrees
straight out,
today.
straight outside and stand on the earth, Mother Earth. So, you know, because we all want to be nourished by mother and father. So I think of Mother Earth, and I actually like consciously think about it. I stand on the earth and just and feel the earth coming through my bare skin, and, you know, gaze up into the sky. Like the sun's pretty low at that stage, or it might be up in the middle of the sky, wherever it is. But just think of Father, sunshine, and yeah, just really connect to earth and sunshine. Drink water, move my body. Like I make sure I get 100 reps, body reps done every single day. My son's doing that now too.
Oh, that's so
He
cool.
wants to try, and he's only 13, like, so he's onto it already. Eating what we call sunshine foods, so anything that's grown and raised outside as opposed to factory foods. So always eating sunshine foods. Yeah, and just connection too, I guess, is another big one. Just really making sure we spend time with others and really connecting with, you know, family and wife, kids, friends. Yeah, so I guess that's the main ones for me.
That's amazing. I love the standing outside and connecting to the earth and
Yeah.
the sun.
I would love to do that, but when it's freezing outside, I guess I have a freezing cold shower every single morning, and it's insane here. Like when it gets like middle of or to the end of winter and it's super frosty, that shower, like it mimics the outside. Like it literally like freezes you first thing in the morning. But yeah,
impressive.
it sets me up for the day because I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this. And whenever I have that reaction of I can't do something, I always I make my body just step forward and do it. And it's great having that control over yourself. Like my mind's going, no, don't do it. I'm like, yeah, watch me. But I just make my body do it regardless.
I wonder if
Yeah.
they get frostbite just walking out of the house without shoes on first thing in the morning.
I'm gonna go out the front just in my undies, like, I'm doing this for
Yeah.
Cam
Yeah.
every morning, and they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Do
I
it.
think I'm going to try it tomorrow. I love it. I actually love that. I've not thought about that. I do think about the mother and the father and the sun and the earth a lot, but I've not actually done that first thing in the morning. I drink water first thing, and I exercise first thing. But actually, just going and just appreciating that is really lovely.
Yeah,
Really, really
we
like
should do
that.
things like that more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've worked
Yeah.
with so many families now. If you could give parents just one golden nugget to help their kid thrive, what would that be?
I think like practice makes better. Like I've mentioned it a few times. But just the whole mentality around, because when kids come into the program, we do an onboarding call with them where we learn a lot more about the child and establish goals for the child and things like that. So we hear directly from the parent what's important, what do you want them to get out of it. It so often is, every time something will come up around the space of they're just scared to have a go, or they're afraid of failing, which we all are. They're just lacking confidence to do this. Like every time I do an onboarding call, that term I say that like it comes up some way or another because it's relevant and important to the conversation. And it's practice makes better. Like if you just take that mentality and let it shine through for the kids, like they will take that and remember that, and they will run with it. And like we practice it in our family. Like anytime I do anything, if I ever stuff up, like I'm doing a podcast or something like that, it's just that was not as good as I wanted it to be, or something like that. I could say something like that for sure, but I'll shrug it off straight away and say it doesn't matter. Like I did it, and I'm a little bit better because of it. And like my daughter, can't remember exactly what she said to me yesterday, but there's always things coming up where they're like, "Oh, I can't do this or I can't do that," and we're like, "That's okay. Like, doesn't matter. Like, just remember, practice makes better." And they know that terminology because we say it all the time. Practice makes better. Like, it's just like we don't say, like, it's not like, oh, you have to be better or do this or do that. It always just comes back to practice makes better. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't
that's
matter.
so
You are where
crucial.
you are.
I
Yeah.
love that.
If you just practice a bit, you're going to get better. I can guarantee you're going to get better. And that's all you need to worry about is getting a little bit better. Don't have to worry about achieving or getting some sort of position or getting this or getting that. Just worry on getting better. And you're in complete control of doing that if you got the right,
So true.
sort of mindset around it. So yeah, I would
And
say practice makes better.
it's funny as an entrepreneur because it literally is just failing, like constantly failing forward. And one thing that we do that I've seen with our daughter, she loves crafts, but she constantly stuffs it up but she'll just like burst into tears over something. And I'm like, no, that's literally what you want to strive for. You want to strive to make mistakes, and then you're going to get better. And then look, there's infinite amounts of goes. You have plenty of paper here. You can do it again and do it again. Like hopefully you'll stuff up that time, and then you can do it again, and you'll get better every time.
Sometimes the best art comes from the mistake.
Yeah,
Exactly. Like, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
So we definitely get that
so
practice
good.
makes better. I think that's super key, and I've loved that you shared that.
Yeah, and what a great mentality to share that with your daughter too, because like she sees that and she takes that on board, and then she just uses that for the rest of her life, as
Yeah,
opposed to, oh, don't get upset, or it's all good. Also, you give them something of substance then and there. It's just like you say, you're meant to fail, or you're going to get better because of this. Or practice makes better. Whatever your interpretation is. You came up
yeah,
with the other one the other day. What was it? That reel. It was the same sort of concept. Kids don't need compliments; they need competence.
yes, confidence. I
The
was going
reel
to
that you did for
ask you,
us,
what does that word mean to you?
competence.
Yeah,
Yeah, competence just means you've developed the confidence to be able to have a go, and you got this mentality of I straight went back to this mentality of practice makes better. Like, so and from that, you're going to develop confidence.
yeah,
So, people can compliment you as much as they like. If you don't believe that compliment, they can say this, like, you're awesome, you're amazing, don't worry, but you're good. But like, that's just words, and people aren't going to develop confidence from that, are they? So, but when they have the actual runs on the board, or when
Yeah,
they're
stacking
doing
the
something.
evidence, and
Yeah,
then you can you build up that evidence, and so you look at yourself and you think, of course I can do that. I've done this.
yeah, that's it. And that's just, for me, that was the essence of this program of Juiced Up Groms, was when you had that little clip out of in there. Kids don't need compliments; they need to develop competence. I don't
Yeah,
know, I'll probably mess that up,
and
but like I
competence
listened.
leads to confidence. That's perfect.
Yeah,
Competence, isn't it? Yeah, I love
competence.
it.
Like, you
When are
do
you going to
something
release
better.
the book, Cam? Practice makes better.
Book, yeah, like it
100%.
might. Yeah, we'll go to ChatGPT. We'll write it up and
Well, it's a
release it.
whole theory. Like this whole practice makes better. It's actually a whole theory that you've come up with, which is fantastic, and you should share that with people. So, that is something you should
Yeah,
think about. Like it's incredible, and it's so true. A lot of people say practice makes perfect, but it's this practice makes better mentality that actually grows you and doesn't make it fearful and scary. So, like that, it's incredible. It's such a good concept. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
So
super
yeah.
powerful.
yeah. So
Oh,
I want
thank
the
you.
book.
Yeah.
I want the book
Yeah,
on
we'll
it.
check in. We'll have another podcast in 12 months. The book will be written, and we'll be promoting the book. Practice makes
Wait,
better.
sounds good.
Okay, let's have a bit of fun. If you had to pick 3 famous people, dead or alive, to do a Juiced Up Grom session with, who's on your dream team?
Okay. First one, probably haven't heard of him, Paul Saladino.
Okay.
He's a mentor, or not a personal mentor, but like someone I watch on social media that taught me a lot about food and very much about how to heal the gut and things like that. So he's just amazing. He's actually from the meat and carnivore based space, which I know is a little bit different to how we look at food, but ultimately sunshine food. So, you know, we're all looking at whole foods, but he's someone particular that I resonate. So Paul Saladino. Another one would be, I know we all know this particular person is Alex Mosey. So because he encompasses practice makes better. If you listen to his podcast, anyone asks me anything about business or anything like that, especially younger coaches and people like that in that space, that mate, do yourself a favor, just go follow Alex Mosey and listen to his podcast, because he's just all about just get out there and do it and then learn from it and grow. So
Yeah, it's
Alex
all about
Mosey,
action. All about action, isn't it? It's like just do it, and keep doing it, and then you'll get better and better.
yeah, 100%. And then to finish off, like some sort of athlete, and I'd have to go someone like Roger Federer. You know Roger Federer from tennis?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's just like, I can imagine, like maybe he was born, I mean, he's probably born with some sort of skill and talent, but I can imagine he trained, and he did, like you hear stories, he trained his bum off, like he encompassed that practice makes better. And he's just an all-round family nice guy. Like anyone that sort of talked about him just said he was the most down-to-earth, amazing, loving guy that had time for everyone. But he's also this superstar athlete that's probably one of the most prominent athletes of his time, and just had phenomenal success. But just did it in such a respectful, amazing human way. Like, so that is like amazing. So Roger Federer.
If you could go back to being, if you could go back to, oh no, I wanted to ask this question. Hold up before we go. So if you could go in a time machine in 20 years into the future, and you saw one of your Juiced Up Groms, people that are one of the kids that did the Juiced Up Groms program, what would you hope that they said to you about what the program, what it's done for their life?
I would just hope that that they developed, a mentality to just go out there and try things in life and have the confidence to try things in life. So they very much developed, a mentality or develop their social skills to give, to have a go at life, to just to go after their dreams and not be scared to have a go. ultimately, because that to me means they're confident, means they believe in themselves, so they've got self-belief, they've got confidence, and they've got a desire to chase their dreams and their passions. So that's what I hope every child gets from Juiced Up Groms.
Beautiful. I love that so much.
So we have a tradition on this podcast to end with a question that is sorry, I got a cold. Cam Best, are you successful?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Some people mull over that question and they're like, oh, I don't know. Am I? It's like, yes, I am successful. That's awesome. I love that. So whereabouts can people find you? Like, tell us, if they want to talk to you a bit more about Juiced Up Groms or about what you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, just Juiced Up Groms on Instagram. We've got juicedupgroms.com as well. That's the 2 spaces. Doing amazing things on Instagram at the moment, thanks to you guys. And
Not me, Josh, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll put everything in the show notes for everybody so will be able to click the Instagram link in the show notes and visit the website as well.
Yeah, that'd be super cool.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I hope everybody's got as much out of it as I have. I've loved having you as a guest, Cam, so thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, it's always cool spending time with you. It's just funny, like, because I spoke to you yesterday, then we had a meeting, now we've got a podcast. It's like I get to catch up with you every day.
Besties.
3 times in the space of 24 hours. Lucky us. Yeah, thanks, Case. Thanks, Joshy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Speak to you all soon.
Thanks, guys. Love you, Angie. Talk soon.